Hello there, and welcome to the Let's Play from Bell and Addy Gaming of one of my favourite PS1 games, Azure Dreams. I'm just gonna watch the opening sequence. Well, the pre-start menu, the pre-title screen video thing, gives you a basic gist of the story. Probably one of the reasons why I loved this game so much was the fact you could steal monster eggs and then hatch them and use them to help you traverse the tower. Monsipaya. Oh my god, it's Ash in an alternate universe. Because once you're 15, you're old enough to go to your death. Gotta break them all. All those precious eggs. Imagine the omelets you could make. Well, with that, we'll begin a new game. As I said, Azure Dreams, one of my favourite games from the PS1 era. So, I think I played this before I ever caught hold of Pokemon, I believe. So it's probably my first experience into the monster battling. And this is how we begin. Greeted by a baby-faced angel. You are about to be reborn. Stingy. It's a rather impatient angel. But then again, it is a baby. And I shall go by Bell. It's an old PS1 game, so you've only got a limited amount of space to enter your name in, and in this case it's 6 characters. So Bell Zero wouldn't work, as it being 7, and well, might as well go with Bell. Yep. Confirmation. My own story. I shall be a master chef. Make sure you're positive. What a good message. With a nice vague threat. Bye bye, short-tempered little angel. Wee, 'cause that's how all babies are born. They're dropped from the sky. The father figure who goes missing. so not yet. Anyway, nope, I've already said no to that name. Although I think if you do just go with car even, it'll just go car. Yeah, car sounds good. But then again, might just go car. No, I feel there's a better name that fits him. I got it. Car. Nope, I picked my name. Bell's dad. Some guy. And I try to back away. And with that, my childhood is halfway done. There is not much in the way of cutscenes in this. I have an aunt. Do you know, I can't remember if we ever see them again. What's the matter, you? Hey. No, my necklace it broke, and now the world is doomed. Ooh, doomed, I say. How FMVs have come. Look at the difference. Flee, you're all doomed. Doomed. And there's me, the redhead freak at the back. Sabaya. Ramp. So I assume it's been 2 days since that light fired off into the desert and scared the bejeebus out of everyone. Wait, he wouldn't be your grandpa, he'd probably be your father-in-law. What's that got to do with it? Ah, basic sound effects. Knock, 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 knock. A guy? Maybe. Nope, it's a weird creature come to kill us all. Ooh. I wonder why. No, he's just explained that's a monster. And the second sort of introduction thing. A horsey thing. A map. And the whole cast with a Azure Dreams. Ah, the wake up. Ow. I'm an adult that's getting my ass handed to me by two women. Weedy. Let's be a slight ass. Huh. I have never noticed that before. Blimey neck. She's actually, it's actually animated slightly. Yep. And that's the little sister. Yes, analog sticks won't work with this. Every morning I have been punched in my childhood. Wow, I must be one tough person. How violent. Jorda. I wonder. Jorda. That sounds vaguely familiar. Yes, I do. There'd be no point to the game otherwise. Yep, old enough to go to my death. A prayer. Will it work? Mumble, mumble. Mumble, mumble. Nice prayer. What the? Oi. I don't need them, so I'm going to skip it because I'll be taken through a big tutorial anyway shortly. Yes. magic color. It's like a Pokeball, but doesn't trap them in a small confined space. Yes, put it on and enslave the beast. Ho ho ho, I get it now, that guy was Santa. Of course. A bit of fruit. A handy little item, which I'll explain once I get into the tower. As this is currently 16 minutes long, so I'll probably end up cutting this down into a couple of parts. Anyway, this is Monster Buyer. So just gotta run, rabbit, run. So let's just quickly go over the places of importance. The weapon shop, where you need to go if you want to buy a cheap weapon to enter the tower with, because you can only take 5 items with you when you enter the tower, including monsters. I don't generally use it that much aside from selling some stuff, because you know I want to take monsters and some items in. Monster shop, I don't think they ever actually sell any monster eggs, they just buy them off you. So I don't really go in there that much either. Hospital, you can go in there and buy medical herbs. I didn't want to go in there. Just as a doctor, you talk to him and you can buy medical herbs. So hold circle to run, triangle jumps. That is the general store where you can buy a lot of various items to furnish your house with, and they do actually appear in the house, which I always quite liked. But then again, that's me. It's the pond for playing in. The carpenter is where you go to purchase upgrades for your house. Your monster hut, where you end up keeping your tamed monsters, as well as other various upgrades for the town itself, because you can become a property developer. This is the bar, where you can go in for, I think they only let you buy milk. But yes, it's a bar, and this is a restaurant where you can buy a load of food to eat in, so if you want to treat yourself. So I suppose if I was doing a roleplay game with this, I'd probably end up going in here every time I came out with a bit of money, because you know you got to eat. Aside from that, there's not much else of importance right now. The other buildings are all sort of residents, and there's a few other places like the fortune tellers, and there's even a swimming pool. Temple, a douchebag's house. We'll meet him sooner or later. So yeah, that's the entrance to the swimming baths. So it doesn't look like there's a swimming pool in there, but hey. Oh, let us get on with the show. I'll talk about some of the characters you can meet in a bit. Well, after I've done my first foray into the tower. And here we meet Kune, if that's how you pronounce his name. A monster, a rare monster, a talking monster. Very suspiciously talking monster. He's smart, don't trust him. Yep, that's the plan. Oh my god, he knows I've got a collar. Run! He can smell it. He can smell the collar. Good for you. Good for him. You see, I never got that. I would have thought people would have loved to have him because he's a sideshow. You could take him around the various towns and show him off as a circus act or as a, you know, part of a freak show sort of thing. But no. What do you mean? You're a monster that can talk. That's all. No. Yes. You have to take him with you. You get no choice in the matter. So I could piss about and spend ages sort of refusing him, but there's no point. Give him a name. Well, I'm giving him something easier to pronounce. Keisuke, huh? What to call him? What to call him? I shall call him Darius. Then why were you called Kune? I am Mr. Bell. Master Bell, you are a beginner, aren't you? Hey ho, let's go. Warning children, do not follow strange monsters into strange towers. It will not be good for your health. But yes, Darius is the mascot of Azure Dreams. And he'll also be providing the tutorial. Yay, the adventure begins! Rightio, Darius. Yep. Right. Let's go into a bit of detail about how the game plays. So, right. Start off, you control your character, Bell, and Bell, well, it's turn-based, so every time you move, everything else moves as well. So if there was so if I move forward, Darius will follow me, or Darius will do his own thing, and so on and so forth. So nothing happens until I actually perform an action, whether it's moving or sort of eating an item or sort of using a spell or whatever, basically. So he was talking about selecting the lineup. When you've got a monster out, you can change its position, so where it'll follow you from. So default position was sort of there, back and behind, so it'll just basically follow on behind you. I prefer to sort of keep him behind me, simply because you can set the AI, so how much independence it has. So the higher its AI level, the more, well, as you can see on in the box, it's got HP, MP, attack and defense stats, and basically for every action Darius takes, he uses up some MP, and the higher value his AI is at, the more MP he uses up. So if you have him at 5, he'll be a great help, but he'll hit 0 MP sooner, which means you'll eventually have to rely on yourself. So when he attacks aggressively, he'll use magic to hit enemies at a range. He'll go after nearby enemies. Basically, he will seek and destroy within a sort of limited area. Attack directly is sort of, if there's an enemy nearby or next to you, he'll come up and add support. So if there was a monster directly in front of me and I attacked it, he would then attack the monster as well, or he'd attack any monsters that got near him as well. 3 is a decent way to go, because what he'll do is he'll basically enchant your weapon with a spell, so you'll do more damage depending on the element. The spell he'd use is the Brid spell, which is a fire spell. So I deal more damage to certain types of certain elements of enemies. Then 2 is he'll just follow you around, which is generally what I have him on, unless I'm going up to a tough floor. Simply because when your monster's out, XP split between you. So he'll level up and gain experience whenever you kill a monster, which is generally the best way to go near the beginning of the game. And then standby is he'll just sit in place, he won't use any MP. To be honest, I've never really used standby. If I don't want the monster to do anything else, I basically put him away so I don't use his MP. But for now, time being, I'm going to have him follow me, making sure he's behind me. So that way he'll gain experience as I traverse the tower. But yes, you can also, at any time you want, you can issue a direct command to your familiar. So you can ask him to move. He'll move in this current facing. You can ask him to attack what's in front of him. You can ask him to cast a magic in front of him. So if you see there's an enemy in front of him, you could easily just ask him to cast the magic. Or if you want him to sort of do the enchant weapon on a particular foe, you can ask him to do it. Or you can ask him to sit there and do note. But again, never used it really. This is obviously the menu option. So that option allows you to select what monster to take out, and which one to sort of put away. So that command's not really used that often, but basically you can use it to select a different monsters to wear that collar, so you can sort of summon it. So because you can eventually get 2 collars to have 2 monsters out at the same time, but it's not recommended. You can call it back to your bag where it won't use any MP, but it won't offer any help. You can sort of go to that option to arrange its position, and then you can sort of rename it as well. Items, obviously, as I said, you can only bring 5 items in. The starting point isn't that important, but it gets more important the further you aim to go. Now, some of the items you get are very helpful. The Peter fruit is very helpful indeed, because you can use it to restore your familiars MP, as it says. But if you feed it to a familiar that's got full MP, you increase the MP by 1. So, as you can see, it says there, MP is increased slightly. Brilliant thing to do. Always sort of do it. Always make sure you get a Peter fruit off wreath whenever you aim to go back in the tower, just so you can build up your monster's MP, so it can help you longer and be of more use. But anyway, with that, I shall begin the game proper. And let us clear the first floor. So, again, he'll go through the basics in the tutorial. You have a map. It's quite important to reveal items as you find them. It's pretty basic stuff these days, really. Yep, that's what I'm doing now. Fireball! Yep, each ball has limited charges. And our first sword. You only get swords and shields, well, swords and shields and rods. Yep, you use red sand or blue sand to improve the weapon. And yes, there are traps in the game that can also weaken your weapons and armor. So it eventually becomes a bit of a pain in the posterior. But I shall equip the weapon. However, you should always be careful, because some items may be cursed, which means you can't remove them unless you remove the curse. Which can be quite nasty, because cursed weapons are generally also weaker as well. To be honest, I don't really use it that often. Medical herb. They, like the Peter fruit, can increase your HP HP permanently by 1. It'll work for Bell, but it's better to use it on a monster, because whenever you leave the tower, Bell's stats are reset. However, monster stats are kept the same, so it's kind of important to not to be honest, I don't really use it that often. But yes, there we go. I have a shield. And that was me attacking. I'll do that a lot when I don't mean to. So basically, copper sword, 2 attack, wooden shield, 2 defense. So I take 2 less damage from any attacks, and I deal 2 more damage than normal. Yes. And a monster egg. I don't believe the colour of the egg matches. Now you can hatch the eggs inside it, which is what Darius is currently talking about, but you don't want to do it, because if you leave the tower, any monsters you've hatched inside the tower don't leave with you, so always try and keep the eggs. Keep them as eggs. As he's just said there. Oops. Telephone message. How rude of him, eh? Yes. I think the first egg's always the sort of weakest monsters. So I think they're generally the Pulippers. Which we'll encounter soon enough. Again, this is what I was talking about earlier, because I like to explain things, seeing as it's a tutorial bit, and well, nothing much interesting is going to happen on this first floor. Yep, the elements. Fire, earth, no, fire, water and wind. Fire beats wind, wind beats water, water beats fire. Which is why you'll probably want to set monster onto AI 2 and just select when you want to use mix your magic, because you're not going to be doing too much more damage. And here's him talking about AI. Yep. Yes. Take the higher ground where possible. And that is a Pulimpa. The weakest monster in the game, really. A Pulumpa, even. Wow. They're pretty weak. How dare to attack my monster. I killed it. Which is generally a good thing to do if you don't know what's coming up, or if you've got a moment to breathe but you're not that high on health. Yeah. So if you're going to be using it with a familiar around, be aware. Yes, I'm going to avoid that. That is one of the various traps in the game. Yeah, at least it's fair that way. And not really, I can last. Yep, you can give your food to the monsters, as I've already displayed with the Peter fruit. With that, we have gotten to the lift. Obviously it's how you move up and down floors, because Munsabaya Tower is too good for stairs, between floors at least. Each floor, aside from this first floor you enter in on the first time, and the second floor of pretty much every time after your first entrance into the tower, are randomly generated. You'll see similar sort of patterns and shapes of rooms and that, but you don't often get the same shapes of room. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna call it quits for here, because we've got to a 45-minute mark. I was going to sort of call a break at 15 minutes, but with this is bell out, and we'll see you next time when the real adventure begins on Azure Dreams. Good night.